All right, peace, everyone. Peace to the gods, the kings and queens, the peasants, and the mere mortals. I am Daniel Laurent.
This is your boy Charlie Hustle, man.
So we are here having a year-end wrap-up, man. A lot has happened this year. We do not have the time to possibly go through everything, but we just wanted to give y'all some of our highlights and things that was notable, disturbing, inspiring, heartbreaking. So we'll do a little. We'll do what's the game that everyone's playing now? Not paddleball. What's the thing that everyone's playing?
Oh, pickleball.
Yeah. So we'll do a little. So you'll go, I'll go, and we'll go back and forth. So what's the first thing on the docket you have?
I think let's dive into Katt Williams, man. That stops the 2024 year off correctly. I mean, there's no better way to start than Katt Williams, right?
Jesus Christ, messy boots. So I mean,
listen, I don't know if it's messy though. I don't know if it's messy. I think we have to start this conversation with respecting people who tell their truth. And we're gonna get into a lot of that over this journey, right? Listen, man, how you feel about my truth is irrelevant, right? It's mine. It's mine to have. So
wait, okay, so pause there. So I personally today am feeling a way when I hear that, right? Because we're also and this is coming later, so I don't wanna ruin a transition. But we are in a space where there's alternative facts, right? So the reality is you have a white t-shirt on. You can't tell me that that's beige. And just because that's your truth and I'm wearing a blue shirt, it's white. Maybe it's off-white, maybe it's egg, but it's white. So when I hear people say, I'm just telling my truth, well, your truth can be that that's a mauve. In the words of Jay-Z, it's mauve. There could be a mauve shirt. So when I hear people saying that, automatically it's kind of like, I gotta brace myself for the bullshit. So, that's my feelings on when I hear it's my truth. Because that's different than it's my feelings, right? So I just think that if we think in those terms, because with Katt Williams, I think he brilliantly told some facts and then put the Salt Bay. Let me see. Let me get in the camera. He did the Salt Bay thing like this.
Yeah.
And a broken clock is right 2 times a day. And so some of the things that he said that was kind of outlandish and crazy. And then if there was an ounce of truth in it or whatever, it's like, Katt told you, and now we made him Nostradamus.
But okay, let's turn back a little bit.
Peel it back, in the words of Mayor Eric Adams.
Let me peel back again, because you gotta always peel back this stuff.
Yeah. You have to sometimes, when you have this conversation, look at the character of a man, right? Mm-hmm. And when you look at the character of a man, there's no better way to do that than to see how his universe speaks about him. That's how you start, right? Mm-hmm. And any of us who cared, right, went and listened to what his circle and what those people around him were saying. True. And the message was super consistent. And everyone was saying, yo, I don't know what y'all know about Katt, but the Katt I know is stand up.
Word.
He has looked out. He has pulled money out of his pocket when he didn't have to. He been that nigga, right? So I always judge people on their level of character. And from what I see in his circle, he don't do nothing but garner respect. Also, some of his points, whether gray, whether fluid, whatever they are, right? Right? His takes on Steve Harvey, I'm here for it. Right? I think there are some people who do a lot of tap dancing and stepping for people, right? And Katt just kind of is in a space where he can speak on that comfortably.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to give him credit in today's world of cancel culture, putting his career on the line to say what he said. You got to give him credit for that.
Well, I mean, but see, that's the difference of you look at, and he's actually, I don't think we had him on a docket, and I actually debated. But you look at like someone like Dame Dash, right? And it's not getting off in the thing. Yeah, I know. My heart's broken. But I think, when you make your bones being independent, I think there are choices that artists make, right? And whether it's intentional or it's just kind of by happenstance, but you have some artists that are of the machine. You have other artists who take the stairs and they don't take the elevator and they don't take the escalator, right? And they're not riding anyone's back. They're literally walking up the steps with 30, 40, 50-pound backpacks on. Right. So Katt Williams, in his career, that's what he has done. That's his bones, which is the complete polar opposite of Kevin Hart.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Now, me and my internal self, I just would love a world in which Katt Williams can exist and Kevin Hart can exist, and they could both do Salute and do their things and make their strides. I want Spike Lee to exist, and I want Tyler Perry to exist, and I want them both to salute and do their strides. What I don't like is when it's constantly like you have a take that I don't agree with, and now I have to publicly come at you because of your ideology. Like, who cares? Like, we're all fucked up.
No, we can't do that, D. We can't do that, D. I'm talking to one of Boston's most respected rappers. We ain't gonna do this. When you put the hours into the pen to master what you are doing, and some kid at home on YouTube says, "I like white shirts," and that shit go crazy viral, right? And he says, "I'm the best rapper from the city."
Damn, man.
You have a right to feel it away, dog. You have a right to have an opinion on that.
Because you made me. Jesus Christ. I just spit. God damn it. Oh, man. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. It's all over my goddamn.
What, man? 2024. This is how you do a rapper.
Man.
This is how it's supposed to be done, right?
I'm sending
you. You're not spitting up a classic drink that you're not having a good time, man.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Damn. All right. I'm back. I'll clean this up a little more in depth later. All right. So your point is, so somebody that doesn't take the craft seriously,
or if you just got there the easy way, or the easiest path possible, because it happens in multiple industries, music, movie, it happens all over the place, right? Even in our regular careers. Some people get that promotion and didn't deserve it, right? Yeah. So if you on the front lines, if you've done the work, right, you grinded hard, you have a right to feel a way about the person that got there expeditiously. You should be able to voice that.
But, okay, so the first part of what you just said, you have a right to feel that way. The second part I say is, do you have a right to voice it? Because we're not talking about the freedom of speech thing. We're talking about you personally, I'm sure, have many grievances that we can sit here right now and scrap all this thing that we're talking about and just air grievances of people from radio stations, promoters, people who wanted to manage you, people who wanted to take 100% ownership of your film before it even, we can air grievances. Mm-hmm. Do you need to, though? And why? And I'm not talking, this is where, like, telling my truth, this is where the shit gets really muddy for me, because believe me, I literally live every single day by be the change that you want to see in the world, right? The quote by Gandhi. It's in front of my door when I walk in and out the house. With living like that and living and breathing that comes with a ton of disappointment every single day, right? There was actually none today, which I'm thrilled about. But every single day, there's at least 2 or 3 disappointments that I have in living that life, right? So I 100% can tell you, this person, but like, why? Why exactly?
No. Okay, I got you. Because your why is simple, right? In today's world, where views and eyeballs are not only status, but revenue generation, right?
Yeah.
You not championing for yourself and saying, nah, dog, I took the hard way and I made it here, right? Don't compare yourself to me. We're not in the same conversation. We might do the same thing,
Yeah.
We ain't the same. We have two different journeys. And now if I don't say anything, you get all the eyeballs, you get all the attention, you get all the sponsorship dollars that might come from this, right? Because you're the squeaky wheel. Nah, we ain't doing that. Especially when my talent, I do it every day. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that.
So would you take that take of having an interview on you go on, 96.9, you're talking to Ramiro and Pebbles, and they're like, yeah, so tell me about your journey. Do you take the time in the morning while moms are driving their kids and they're screaming in the background, sucking thumbs? Do you feel a need to say, oh man, let me tell you about this nigga DL that I asked him to, or do you be like, or let me tell you about what I got going on, and yeah, it was a hard road, and like, what do you personally take?
I think there's a combination that can work there. There's a combination. I do have to tell you why investing your time, which is the most important thing that you have, it's your most important asset, why investing your time in me is worth that while. Let's talk about that. My journey's here. I'm writing movie scripts at 2 a.m. while you're asleep. Like that's what I do. That's why I'm worth this, right?
Right.
But then, oh wait, by the way, because John got a movie coming out the same day as you. And oh yeah, but John doesn't write scripts, and John doesn't find actors, and John doesn't he doesn't do all that work. He just shows up today.
GBC.
Yeah. Oh, you kidding me? You kidding me? You kidding me? Yo. Nah, son. I didn't address that. Hey, Pebbles. By the way, I'm really in the lab. I know there's some people who's not really in the lab. Salute to them. Salute to their success. Their success. I love that for them. I really do this.
Word. All right. So I mean, it definitely, I think the highest rated view in Club Shay Shay history, and probably one of the highest views. I mean, Joe Rogan's in a whole other stratosphere. Yeah. But I think the amount of views and the not even views, but I think the impressions that got, literally, I mean, talk about breaking the internet, literally.
That's it.
So, hats off to him. And what
Don't move just yet. One quick thing too, I want to give the flowers. Obviously, we give the flowers to Katt for being mentioned in the 2024 recap. But let's not skip over Shannon. He's really done amazing work in the don't say Black podcast. He's done amazing work in the podcast space, right? That has to be honored a little bit here. And I don't want to overlook that. And also, I feel like as we go away from this and into other topics in 2024, and you never hear me say things like this. In fact, those of you who are watching this, pretend you didn't hear it. But Shannon gives Black men, at least on appearance, a safe space to speak. And you don't often see that in media, right? Because normally it seems like people are trying to pick at you for the viral moment.
That's
and
interesting.
I don't get that from Shannon.
That's it. I never thought. Okay, that's interesting. Huh.
We need more safe spaces to speak our language.
So I'll take your safe spaces and I'll raise you. I think he's very strategic on who he picks, right? Because it is a business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he, I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily, do you watch his interviews? Like aside, like when he puts it out, do you watch him?
I do.
So, one, I mean, and with the Katt Williams, I don't know if I watched the full thing. I think I watched a bunch of clips and then I watched like some of them. And then I just, but when he's like, come on, Katt. Oh, come on, Katt. And oh man, come on, that's my brother, Katt. So, and for me, I feel like it's like if I do an interview with somebody tomorrow and they're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Got niggas out here making these movies, putting them on Amazon, you know what I'm saying? I put my shit in the theaters, you know what I'm saying? When you got blah, blah, and I'm like, come on, man, that's, but then I call you the next day and I'm like, yo, what's the, and I feel like, you know, everyone throws around the word journalist, right? And that's just, I don't even like that, right? Because I respect, even with me as an artist, I have never called myself a musician because I have too much respect for Prince or you know, John Legend, or people who are unnamed, but people who study and classical, and you know, I have too much respect for them. I'm creative and I'm an artist, and I could put things together and put pieces together, but I can't read music. I can't, you know, that's not what so I have too much respect for that. So similar to journalists, I don't just throw around at people are journalists, right? But with Katt, I think that he allows, it's very reminiscent of Wendy Williams to me, with less salaciousness and messiness. And I say that because at the end of the day, with Wendy Williams' health decline and all the other stuff that came with her, that left a void in the marketplace. That Sherry Shepherd and Tamron Hall, a lot of them are tapping into the Wendy sauce, right? And they're trying to have some of the, but they're straddling the fence because they don't want to be super messy. They want to have the view audience. But you know, it's just very interesting. And I know I'm kind of digressing, but the point is, I think what Club Shay Shay to me, one, I just don't like that name. It just bothers me.
I can agree.
You know what I mean? Like if you had it's like Club Charlie Charles. That's even more manly. But like Shay Shay, I'm like, what the you know what I'm saying? But I will say, and D.L. Hughley, who I don't know, do you rock with D.L. Hughley?
Depends on the day of week with DL, because you know.
Man. All right, so I unfollowed him recently because without getting into a whole thing about it, I just think that and we'll get into this later, but from the election, I think that it ended up being people who were on one side and against another side, and now that the other side won, you're posting in real time every single thing that the other side is doing to inform people, and then also say, I told you so, this is what you guys wanted, and I'm just trying to protect my peace, and I don't need that in my ecosystem. So I unfollowed him. Roland Martin might be next, and a couple other people. Right. I unfollowed 50 a while ago with the whole Diddy thing, and we're going to get into that in a minute. I'm just trying to protect my peace, and I just don't want the messiness, because I just feel like life is hard and life is ugly, and unfortunately, a lot of people just want to be entertained. No one cares, and everyone wants to be entertained.
I agree.
So going to something a little lighter. I feel we'll spend maybe 45 seconds on the Olympics. So for this year, I don't know if it's going to continue because I feel like it was a lot of backlash, but so they introduced a breaking category. 16 males, 16 females, judged in 6 categories: creativity, personality, variety, technique, performative, I think. I don't even know. Yeah, I think performative, and then musicality. And, I think people had mixed reviews of it. Part of the people in the culture are like, yo, that's dope. We made it to the Olympics. But then when you have the Australian phenom, Ray Gun, doing a bunny hop.
Yo, you know something, dog? You know something? Like, it's not often I'm lost for words. That's not often. Let me explain a couple things. And we're going to dive into this a little bit deeper in another part of our 2024 recap. Our community. I know it's super funny. I totally get it. This broad had the nerve to do the cross hands at the end, like, I get it. I get it. It's super funny. Yeah. Come on.
My motto's to get it done. No excuses. Truth is time waits for no one. When Pop spoke and spark, that was
I love it. I love it.
The issue is this. What we as a community have to take more seriously is our shit.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, again, we'll talk about this in one of our other things that gets into the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let me read you something that might help shed a little bit of light on this.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ray Gun, by the way, is also, there are so many jabs at our community here that we just laugh at now, right? Ray Gun is a disgusting AKA.
But that is her name, though. Her name is Rachel Gunn. And so it's more her name than Jay-Z. Sean Carter has nothing to do with Jay-Z. Or Ryan Montgomery, who I love, has nothing to do with Royce the 5'9". So to her credit, that is her name, right? Now, if she would have put like MC, then I would be on board. But that is her name. So she just took the
AKA, yeah, okay, let's go. So cool. Ray Gun, right? She after her spectacular Australian performance in Paris, she comes back home and she finds that there is someone making a musical called Ray Gun the Musical. And she sues them. But let me tell you exactly why she sues them. This might spark some interest. She's suing for intellectual property rights. She claims they used her permission, without her permission, or sponsorship, in a manner that infringes her intellectual property rights. Her lawyer went on to say that in our review, you are causing significant confusion about the product. Now, this show would be breaching copyright if they copy any of Ray Gun's moves, which had been the culmination of 10 years of training, which she created and authored. The irony here is that she is suing someone because they are copying a display of an art. If you don't see the irony there. So now this broad, who is a professor of some sorts in Australia, decides that her portrayal can't be stolen and is willing to sue over that when she stole the shit from someone else, from a whole other community, right?
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee no one gave her a pass to do so. Almost right? I think she just saw it somewhere and said, boy, I'd like to get involved with that. That looks super interesting.
Yeah.
And went into a mirror and did this shit, right? And said, that'll do it. Get the fuck out of here, man. You can't be saying, here's why it matters more. Yeah. Not just the irony and the disrespect of this part, but here's why it matters more. She turned down 2 reality TV offers. Reality TV, what you may or may not know, is huge, right?
Yeah.
These people are getting paid $200,000, $300,000 an episode.
Some high end, yeah.
And that's basic, right? She is in negotiations with McDonald's. She is in negotiations with Adidas. A McDonald's partnership, average 1.3 million. That's just, again, average. Some Justin Timberlake got like 6 million. Right? Adidas 1.25 on theirs. Here's why this matters. Here's why this is not just a laughing stock. Ray Gun has taken some shit from our community, found a way to monetize it, and now stands to make over $2-3 million from her participation in a community that no one ever gave her the green light to get involved with, right? So I care about this story because no one invited Cool Herc up here. McDonald's ain't calling Cool Herc.
No.
Adidas ain't calling Africa Bambaataa, right? Here's a check for 1.2 to come sponsor. Hell, we wasn't even at the event.
No.
So,
yeah.
Our community has to take a better look at and be more frustrated when people start to make money off of shit that don't belong in their community. That's all. I want more passing around now. That's why this comes up today. Not enough of us are outraged.
So I think we're deviating a little bit, but like I would find it really odd and weird to go to something else and then come back to it. So let's just get right into Fat Joe.
Let's do it.
So he was on My Expert Opinion recently with Math Hoffa.
Math Hoffa. And
I'm gonna play a little clip of what he said. So let me put this on.
These rumors were made by radical black racists. Let's just say that. Okay, it's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican, don't want to hear Guyanese, they don't want to hear a black guy that ain't down with them. Right? So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't black American.
Who are these guys?
You want me to say a name? We're going to give them too much clout.
I mean...
The FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever the fuck these broke niggas is. I'm just keeping it a buck. And their shit is to attack everybody on Twitter. You see this nigga who run them? Like, your leader? Yo, man, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. And so they trying to change the narrative. They're not from New York.
Right.
So they telling a whole nother story. This was whoopity doop wop. Yo, bro. We got a fucking Looney Tune, like your man Lord Jamal, who's a fucking Looney Tune. Okay, he's a loony bin, right? We just said that the drug of choice is attention. It's this and this and that. They get a guy who, he was a legend. He's brand Nubian.
Right.
And he's the wackest nigga in the crew, to be clear.
Obviously that was that was a bit of a jab, just because.
That's unfortunate, man. And let me say this real quick before you jump off the ledge, deal. Because when we turn the oven on, right, and we get ready to flame roast these dudes, right, and we ain't gonna use the good olive oil. We're gonna cook them right in the heat, right, make it nice. Let's make sure we add math to that conversation. Because for you guys who now may have seen this and said, let me go check the YouTube video out, because I didn't see the whole thing. You'll find that video has been edited. And that part has been removed.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Let's make sure we get everybody who needs to be involved in this conversation. Let's add their name to it.
So this is why I think that you were the best person. This topic and a few other ones. I will tell you, I watched that clip. Math Hoffa has had a couple of clips and interviews and stuff that I was like, and we'll get into this later, so I don't want to even segue to it, but this year in particular, I've been forced to separate men, people with morals, people who I salute, people who I admire, people who I aspire or have aspired. I have to separate all of that from the art or from the product. And up until this year, as silly as it may sound, I've never had to do that. Right? Yes, I know Eazy-E was really the one in NWA and Dre wasn't, right? MC Ren, I guess, was Cube, not really, but NWA presented as they presented, which CB4 came from that. I remember that very clearly. I know Rick Ross was a correction officer, right? I know all of these things, and I've never had to check my perspectives more than this year in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to him, I watched the clip and I didn't particularly feel a way about him saying it. And to be quite honest, I wasn't even familiar with FBA. And so when he said it, I was just like, oh, right. Now, afterwards, I looked up FBA, looked up, obviously I'm familiar with Tariq Nasheed and all these things. I heard the argument, but I never paid attention to it because I just feel like, again, there's so many things for us to fix and figure out and come together on and work on, that having an argument about the creators of something, when the reality is the creators are the ones who have gotten the least. So whether it's Curtis Blow, whether it's Kool Herc, as you mentioned, right? They're not caking in the same way Lil Baby is, mm-hmm. or Coi Leray, mm-hmm. right? Or Lil Pump. So that's more of an issue for me. I personally don't care as much about that, about the credit, because the business is what the business is. And for me, what's more important is the moves that were supposed to be made a long time ago, but never happened. So with Suge and Irv Gotti and Jay Prince getting together and supposed to start a distribution company, which would have changed everything, right? That is more important to me about those particular things. I don't particularly have, now I'll end with this thing. I don't particularly have an issue with Fat Joe saying nigger. And it then turns into a conversation of who can say it. I did kind of feel weird when J-Lo said it. Right? You remember that? I tell my niggas, but they don't hear me.
It's yeah.
Right? Like it like if I hear it, like if and his brother just passed, Brian Gumble, right? Mm-hmm. So Brian Gumble comes in, it's live right now, like, yo, what up, my niggas? I would feel away. You know what I mean? But then it gets, I don't like having these conversations of semantics of who can say it and who, like, I don't really want to get into that. I know in my heart, and I don't know if you know him, Easy Money, right? Ed Rock. Terminology, you know what I'm saying? ST the Squad. I love Ed Rock. He was in my wedding, right? We don't talk all the time, but I love him. Mm-hmm. I feel like we've talked, and he said it. I don't cringe. I feel.
And he said it.
I think so. I mean, but the thing is, it's never said in a way of, yeah, man, these niggers around here. Like, it's not. It's in conversation of whenever it is. I will tell you, there is a person who reminds me, kind of. He's not an artist at all, but he reminds me of Drake. And it's funny with the whole Kendrick thing that we'll get into. I always felt the way when I heard Drake say nigga. So this person, whenever he said it, I would always feel a way about it. And he's biracial also. Okay. It always just kind of stung when he said it. Like, I don't know if I don't know, should I punch you on the side of your face? Like, is that the black side, white side? So I don't know. But I wasn't offended by that clip. However, I understand his argument of feeling like, yo, I didn't just jump into this. I grew up in it. I contributed. My people was carrying crates, all those things, right? That's different than a ray gun conversation that we just had of somebody literally just jumping in and making a lick off of it. So, that's my piece.
Well, I wanted to make a note really quickly there. I think Hov addressed your initial point. So I'll quote him. I'm overcharging niggas for what they did to the Cold Crush.
Word.
Right? And And this is just speaking about our legacy. Somebody got to respect our legacy, right? Even now, of course, Jay didn't write a check to, you know what I'm saying? He didn't write a check out. But for y'all who have come in here and enjoyed our culture, right? And y'all didn't pay what you were supposed to pay before, you're gonna pay it now, right? And I respect that. I respect that somebody respects the legacy. And that's all I ever asked. Respect the legacy. Let's go to crack, because there's a couple things. First off, I feel about this like you do about Diddy, right? And I know you and I have spoken about Diddy in the past. I liked, you heard the D. I liked Joe Crack. I was a fan. I was DITC. I was all of that, right? And maybe I'll take the D off of this by the end of our discussion. Here's what I struggle with.
My immature side says pause, by the way, right? But I want to be an adult for this conversation. Proceed. I'll be quiet. I'll mute up.
Oh God. Math. Okay. First, Math is a sucker for this. Let's just period. New sentence. Don't edit it, right? If it's controversial, leave it there. You make content for the public to view. Yeah. Let us view it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to. You see me stalling on the crack stuff. Lord Jamar is correct. Black people have always been and will always be the gateway to what is cool. We are that, right? Yeah. We tell you what the fuck is dope, and then guess what you do out in the suburbs? You run by that shit, right? Yeah. That's what happens. Lord Jamar is also correct that at some point in time, much like with Marshall Mathers in Detroit, someone in our community said, yo, I really like this. Here's the part where I now insert crack to the conversation. He grew up there. He grew up right next to you in the hood. He's probably not an he's not an exception. Right? Whatever traumas you went through in your neighborhood, he went through the same shit.
Yeah.
Right? He was forced to fighting and selling drugs and trying to make ends meet, just like we were. Because they wasn't hiring him to do paper routes.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And he did not fly shit. So I struggle with this. I really do. Because, he's one of those guys who's strumming. He's strumming. I'm sure Finesse and them dudes like, yo, crack is cool. He's with us. Here's the other part. I also, like you, was unaware of what the FBA was. I did the homework. Interesting concept. I am very much here for said concept.
Yeah.
Right? I do believe that Black Americans, from the male perspective, you ever listen to women talk about, oh, well, once everybody wanted an exotic chick, and now regular Black people didn't matter anymore. You ever hear those stories?
I heard, yeah.
I kind of feel like we're in that same vein, right? It's like, oh, well, everybody wants somebody with an accent. They want this, they want that. And regular Black dudes, we don't really get the shine anymore. We've been kind of phased out a little bit. We don't talk about that because there are a lot of other people who have been phased out before us, but we're in that same zone. And so I like the concept of this. Now, this is built around just your lineage. There's no membership fees. It's not like that, right? It's just like, yo, like.
It's not a fraternity. You don't have to cross.
Right, no, you don't know all that. Don't worry about that. Don't fill out the form. It's just like, yo, like, is your family from this lineage? Yes or no, my G. And then it's so, welcome. We appreciate you. You see what I'm saying? There's no president. It's not like that. Yeah. There's no one guy. Crack was wrong. There's no one guy leading. It's not that.
But I think he's a champion. I mean, he is on a website. I think he has brought this to the masses, right? So like I didn't create Black Dollar. However, I've taken it and put it in a bottle. I hate to use like a street rap. Jesus Christ. I put it in a box.
Roxbury, man. You know, you dudes, man. It's terrible.
Jeez, it's always going to a street rap. I know. But you know, but this is an overall thing, and I have this with, and I won't name just for the sake of, there's someone who I love also, and who it's hard for me to even say, whatever. So someone who I love, he is a member of, have you ever heard of Straight Black Pride?
No.
So it's self-explanatory, right?
Sure
it's Straight Black Pride, which is in contrast to everyone else, right? I am, you know, I'm straight and I'm proud of it, and I am by no means gonna, you know, whatever, right? I just feel, again, with all the hurt and the pain in the world and some of the things that we're going to speak about in a minute, us as Black people, we are so complicated and traumatized and bruised and confused and not a monolithic, which I even hate that term. We're not a monolith. I feel like sometimes we need to be. Sometimes we need to be on code. Right? Stashes disrespects one of our sisters. We need to be on code. We're not going anymore. And I don't mean you going on the side and ordering pizza.
I agree.
Right? But because everyone feels the way that they feel, we just all do different things. Yeah. My point is, we are so complex and all these different things. To take a scalpel and carve out Charlie Hustle because he wears a white shirt instead of wearing a gray one. Let me carve him out. Oh, let me carve out Maine because, you know, he's a man and he cooks. And I believe that, you know, that's a woman's role. Mm-hmm. Let me carve, you know what I mean? And we start, like, I don't feel we have the time or space or luxury for that. Okay. Now, if you are a detriment to what we are trying to do, as far as liberation, freedom, equality, all those things, that's a different conversation.
Correct.
But by you just simply being, I don't feel like we have the luxury. Oh, your parents are from Jamaica, and your mother's from Panama, so you're not full. Oh, you can't be. Really?
Yeah.
So that's what I feel when it comes to.
I hear you.
That's what I got from his part. I don't know if Joe is right in that, because you're just hearing someone speaking their truth. So then it gets to that piece. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, it's, you know, I also don't want to go, because I have always, forever, and I'll say this one last piece, and then if you say something, and we'll, you know, I forever have said, you know, Term has dedicated his life to hip hop music. And what, like, I'm sure he slept on floors and couches and all the things, ate ramen noodles and hot dogs, right? In order to be where he is now and to be able to move in the spaces he moved. When everyone else, you know, went to the studio, was like, oh, I got to get up and go to work tomorrow, bro. Oh, I got to pick up my daughter. Oh, I got to go to soccer practice. Oh, he's stuck with it. So do I ever have the authority to say, you don't belong because you didn't? I wouldn't do that. Dude. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm coming from with that. But like, why?
But how much of our community, you about to take me somewhere else, how much of our community, and we heard you, I'm not telling you nothing you don't already know. How many of the rappers that we listened to, that was the only way? You know what I'm saying? That was the only way. We couldn't get a job at the post office. We weren't eligible, right? We couldn't get a gig that could make enough money to. There's countless rappers, creators. This was the only way to put $1 to help pay the bills. People from other communities have other opportunities. They choose to do this because they love it. And that's cool, but that you have a choice to do this. This was it for us. And for me, again, We talked about this earlier with Ray Gun. It's about taking the culture and monetizing it, because guess what? Somebody else who's in the community and should have had that shot didn't get it, right?
Yeah.
But you did, but you could have done other things, and I just want us to get our shots.
And you know what? And I lied. What I will say to cap off my thing, so to that very point, I feel like there's a difference of, and this is where the culture vulture stuff comes in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference of a person that takes versus a person that puts back. And if you put back, a decent percentage, or you put back more, I personally can't fault that. But if you are constantly taking and not giving, so Ray Gun, again, should be in that contract, but as much as I'm sitting here talking to, I'm sure it's not. Her McDonald's commercial should have MC Shan, Kool Herc, Melly Mel, even if they don't have speaking parts, but just to have that look of somebody like, yo, who's that old dude in the back with the Kango hat? But I know that that's not, and because they want her, she is in a position to say, in order to get me, you do an Eminem deal with 50 Cent.
Yep.
If 50's not doing it, I'm not doing it.
Not only that, use the music, get them the royalties done.
Yes.
It's these kind of things that.
But it's intentionality.
It should be standard.
Well,
and our community understands it should be standard. We get that, right? I don't know other communities do. Last point on Joey Crack.
Yeah.
But we got 2024. We got things to get into. There is value in Joey being from New York versus the South.
Mm-hmm.
Joey saying nigga in New York is green lit by the community because South Bronx, 75% Puerto Rican. That's South Bronx is probably the most hood landing space there is, right?
Yeah.
So Joey in Decatur doesn't work that way, right?
Mm.
And so I think people from Decatur, people from New Orleans, Texas, Houston,
Fifth Ward.
They're like, yo, I don't understand.
Mm.
I don't understand. Because that don't fly down here. We knock niggas head off for less.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Because it has a deeper meaning. In the South, this is the one thing I've appreciated since I moved down here to the South. They respect the past. They have a very clear understanding of what the fuck has happened, what's transpired. Because unlike everybody up north, not everybody from the South got out of here. So they still very much live in that culture of there are certain terms. Don't say that shit to me. Don't say it. It's very much today. It's very much that. Up north, everything's blended. It ain't that down south. So when you hear from people down south, there's outrage. I don't know what y'all allow anything up north, and they're true. They're true.
Interesting.
Last piece on crack. Am I gonna go listen to Don Cartagena later on today? Maybe. Still a fan of Joey Crack. This is a tough spot for me, but we'll get into that for you later. Because again, you grew up with these guys. You value what they bring, and then you hear this kind of stuff. It's like, damn, how do I look at this now?
But damn, it's hard. Okay. This is super millisecond. I will say, to my earlier point of separating people from an interview that he gave and said something that's a thought that he has from where he grew up and what he was surrounded by. That to me is not so much of an indictment of like you punching your woman in the face and knocking her teeth out, or you being a father to 7 kids and not raising them. That's like different. That's like moral fiber stuff of like, yeah, I don't think I can really support that. You know what I'm saying?
D. So D, what this is me coming to you, right? And I'm like, yo, D, I'm trying to get into the film game. I know you here. I know you play in this space. I love it. I want to do it in a way that nobody else is doing it around this way. You say, yo, Chuck, I got you. let's shake some hands. I want you to meet this person. I want you to meet that person.
Hmm.
You bring me in, you give me that key, go off like I believe in you. And then I get there and I'm rocking, I'm doing my thing. And I get an interview with Pebbles. Hi, Pebbles. So what's this movie thing really? I'm like, yo, you know something? Everybody I met in this industry is dope, but that nigga DL, like, it's like, you can't do that with the people who let you in. You see what I'm saying? So when Joey's going against the FB, these are the exact people who's like, come in, we'll buy your albums, we're with you. Like, he tells a story on the same podcast. I'm outside with 150 black dudes behind me. Somebody greenlit. You getting 150 black dudes behind you. That didn't happen on accident. Right? You got that approval. So stand on that. Don't turn on it when you get on Math Hoffa. Because you feel mad about Lord Jamar. Like, deal with that one-on-one, but don't take it out on the people who lift you in the gate. That's unfortunate.
Fair enough. Okay. So let's see, man. Let's no pun. Let's get into Diddy.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was a mile away. What?
All right, so let me all right, so there's a couple of things because we can go all over the place, but let me just all right, so I'm gonna play this in chronological order. So this was a speech from the BET Awards. I think he got Icon. What was that, MTV? I don't remember. I think at BET he got the Icon Awards. I wish I was a little more prepared, but I believe it was BET. All right, so this was a speech he gave.
100 with y'all. I was in a dark place for a few years, you know what I'm saying? And I have to give a special shout out, thank you, all that love. Cassie for holding me down in the dark times. Love.
Now, this was well after they separated. And, you know, I think there was conversations and things flying around. So that's interesting. And so this is the other video, which is the apology that was heard around the world. All right, hold on, let me put this on.
I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Yeah, I didn't bother having the whole thing, but everyone saw the video. I don't feel the need to share that. You know, what's his name? Attorney Busby, that opened up pretty much a hotline for everyone that encountered, bought a record. Everyone just called and filed cases. So I think there's like over 300 cases currently. And yeah, that's where we are. And I think what I spoke about before when we spoke about him, and this is when, I don't know if the video came out. Did the video come out when we spoke?
No.
Yeah. So, you know.
That means there's hidden footage for you guys to find.
You know, there was, you know, a lot of people jumped out the window of, you know, this is a money grab. And if it was really that bad, how come she didn't leave? And how come she didn't call the police back then? And what I'm learning in these spaces in domestic violence, and like, it just doesn't work that way. It just does not work that way. And it's easy to say that to somebody. And the majority of the people who make accusations and come forward are telling the truth. The percentage of people who are actually lying and it finds out to be not true is, I don't know what the percentage is. It might be like 14.5% or something like that. Something, you know, and the reality is it's easier to win a civil case than a legal case when you're filing for sexual assault or domestic violence. Like, that's a fact. So it's just interesting, all the people that felt the need to jump out the window and say, nah, man, So the video comes out and it's like, crickets. You know what I'm saying? Like Mr. Kermit, not Mr. Kermit, Kermit the Frog drinking the tea. Everyone's quiet.
Yeah.
And that's what we are. And I just feel like the longer you live, your heroes turn to villains.
So real quick on this. Like, first off, salute to you, because in an unintended way, your project Cry for Me really ties to this story. And I really urge anyone to get out and try to put your eyes on that project, because it tells a story of domestic violence and how these relationships have a stark perception, right? And really can be traumatic to the community. It's a shameless plug, but I think it's a necessary one here. I think also one of the things that you talked about here is the perception of the victim, right? Mm-hmm. And I speak for Charles Jones too when I say there's an ignorance to the perception of the victim. I have on many occasions, have stood on the tallest soapboxes and said, man, if you don't like it, get the fuck out of there. Many times, many times. There's an ignorance to the perception and the lack of education, right? We need to take a better job, Charles Jones included, of saying, yo, have you ever been fearful of repercussion, of retaliation? Has there ever been a moment of trepidation emotionally? Has there ever been a moment of embarrassment of, I don't want to put my shit in the street and let people know what's really happening? Have there been those moments? Of course, everybody in these stories seems to have those. It's a common denominator, right? So then when you get loudmouth black guys with podcasts who say, yo, what are you doing? Like, say something. It's not that easy, dog. Yeah. And so there, again, with maturity comes education, which you hope, right? With maturity comes more adult conversations. What maturity comes is opportunities to learn about people you consider an icon and be fucked up, right? We spoke earlier about the separation of church and state, quote unquote, right? And it's just like, kind of like, yeah, they make great music, but when they leave the booth, what's really happening, right? My example of this is Bill Cosby, right? Like, you couldn't tell me nothing about Heathcliff Huxtable. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, and then when you start hearing the things about the man outside of the content, again, me being who I am, jumped on the loudest box. Oh my God, he's innocent. I wasn't in that room. I don't have a clue what was going on over there, right? I heard the victim stories and immediately jumped to a place where I shouldn't have, right? And so I think this is why the women in our community feel as though we don't build the proper shields around them. Because sometimes niggas jump out and immediately think they're lying, think they're at fault, think they made shit up, think they asked for it. None of that's the case, dog. And it just comes with more people speaking out and kind of saying, "Now, hold on a second, take a minute, hold that thought, and let's get all the facts out before you start doing this." So it's really eye-opening to me. The more this Diddy thing, again, I was so passionate about Cosby, and this Diddy thing made me take a second look at how I, as a man, approach these kind of conversations. So I think it's really valuable. Just the one last thing, I'm gonna throw it back to you on this. The video, the apology video. So he says, my actions in that video.
That's a Club Shay Shay, actually. That's a Club Shay Shay moment you just did. Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Come on, man. So don't.
It says there's more. That's not on camera.
That's exactly what it says, D. Right? Yeah. I'm apologizing for that moment. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Come on. Come on. Just say I'm fucking. Listen, I don't even think you should have made the video, honestly.
No.
But if you're gonna do something, say I'm sorry. I fucked it up. I'm sorry. Period.
Yeah.
I don't think you need the video.
No.
Tell Cassie and leave it at that.
Yeah, but you know, so there's two things. One, how can I make this concise? One is it's interesting when it comes to, and I was looking at a lot of different cases. Okay, so three things. I lied. One, I think some of the greatest artists were pieces of shit. The people that gave us the greatest art. If you start digging in, James Brown, yikes, yikes, and yikes.
James Brown.
There's someone that I can't think of. Damn. I don't want to put this on his jacket if it's not true. Damn, not Otis Redding. It's someone from that time that messed with the colleague, the counterpart's wife, married her. And then when he wore his suit to his funeral.
Oh, disgusting, dog. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Yes. And he made slaps.
I was just talking about this dude the other day, too. Oh, that's disgusting.
I don't even know.
Drove his car home from the funeral, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, amen.
Took his car and his old lady.
Yeah, you got amen. I'm coming to find you, bro.
So, like, I think it again, it's just, and some people have been able to do this, and good for them. But I've never had to really think and separate the artist from the person. And I think for me, it's just so easy and it's comfortable for me. My art is me. It's not, I don't put on a monkey suit when I'm going into the booth or when I'm about to perform. Like I'll perform in a suit, I'll perform in khakis, I'll perform in a tank top, I'll perform in overalls. It's me. Not everyone presents that way. You know what I'm saying? Like Nicki Minaj is a character. We don't know who Onika Mirage is. Right. We don't know. She doesn't show that for her own reasons. You know what I'm saying? Fab is great with punchlines. We don't know who he is. Right. Right. And even with Fab, with people said that there wasn't a video of him punching her in the face, but it was a questionable video with him. And
yeah, I remember that.
But like we all forget.
Well, okay, so then
he's a dope lyricist.
Let's take that a step further, right? Because obviously you're multi-talented, right? Yeah, we get the music outside. Go cue that up real quick if you haven't already. But you're also a really good actor. Actors by profession are hired to portray something, hero or villain.
Yeah.
Right. And so I know you started this out by saying my art is really a representation of me. How do actors who portray other things fall into this conversation? Right? Because that's what Cosby was. Cosby was everything, right? And he was, I want a dad like Cosby. I want a nigga who's home, right? I want a nigga we laugh in the kitchen, right? Like, yeah, I want that nigga, right? I want a nigga we come out, we singing songs and shit. I want that, right? But he wasn't that, when the camera stopped. So how do those talents get mixed up into this?
And we're not perfect people. And even with civil rights leaders,
right.
And so, but do you throw, anyway. Okay, so let me ask you this. So before the video came out, I indulged and played frequently the Love album, which I think is his greatest work. Where do you stand on the Love album? Or No Way Out, not Forever, because I don't think anyone plays Forever. That was probably, that had like 2 records, and then that wasn't a good.
I'll stand on this. I don't like the Love album. No Way Out was where it was at for me. And much like R. Kelly, I still play the album, right? I still play it. You know, like the art is the art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't segregate my entertainment based off of things that are outside of my purview. Let's say that. Right?
Right.
I don't know what's happening. Just like for my TV shows, I don't give a shit what those actors do when they go home. But on that role, I'm here for it. Right? I don't know. I know D. Laurent. I love this song. Outside, this is my shit. I don't care that he's from Roxbury. Like that's a whole different. I love it. Right? I'm here for the content. Right? I can't judge the man based on like that's a whole different thing.
That's not nice. Okay. You know what's funny? And I'm gonna say this before we segue. I legitimately was gonna wear my Roxbury hoodie. And I chose to be neutral. And even in my neutrality, is that a word? I made it up. Neutrality, if it's not.
It is. I'm here for it.
It still was able to all right. Yeah, if we have more time, I will go and change and put it on.
No, all
right.
We'll do that.
So, all right. So I think this would be quick. Remy, Papoose, Clarissa, Easy to Block Captain. Let's just because the video exists, let's play some bars. Actually, you know what? Let's do it in chronological order because this is important. So there was hold on. So there were rumors of Remy and Easy to Block Captain. Never confirmed, but there was sprinkles and people are like, blah, blah, blah. And then you seen her promoting her new battle league, Chrome 23. Yeah. You know, they're doing interviews together. They're going on shows. They're sitting with each other, blah, blah, blah. Never addressed it. Geechee Gotti. Yeah, exactly. He took it upon himself. Yeah. So we'll play this.
I'm sorry, Remy. I didn't want to do this. I'm so sorry. I love you. I didn't want to do this. I'm sorry, Remy. Nigga, duck at least. What the fuck you think? What the fuck y'all think? I didn't have no conversations with Pap to make sure this shit that I'm saying is facts? I mean, needless to mention, Remy, he said he don't mind you calling him baby because the last time he seen him, he was in a fetal position. Hey, that nigga woke up like I ain't even see the bull. Hey, listen, I ain't even see the bull. Hey, I ain't even see the bull. Hey, last time he saw him, he was in the fetal position. What you thought? Loving hip hop was gonna pick it up? Nigga who cheats with Remy Ma, get a couple of episodes, now you lit as fuck. Hey, give it up. Nigga, you are a clout chaser. That's greasy. Don't think I don't got them recordings where you said, oh, I don't want TMZ to get the narrative that Papoose knocked out easy. Believe me, everything you said on them recordings got me thinking about exposing you. Like, I don't give a fuck if you fucking this nigga. Just tell him stop spewing the business. If niggas found out you was fucking the help, that could really ruin your image. We talking Barack and Michelle, Pap and Rim. Nigga, that's us. Y'all the poster child symbol for black love. Nigga wouldn't even think that y'all marriages still had to go through them stages. Every interview, he show his admiration and tell the world how he think his woman the greatest. That nigga held you down in prison for 6 years. It was nice. He cried big. It was.
All right.
Cook.
And so
this is so disappointing, though. It's so disappointing. But there's more to the story.
Yeah. Well, should I play the or should I segue to it in a minute?
Well, let's stay here. Let's stay here. Because everything Geechee said, I'm here for. And I know for sure when we were listing top 10 couples, this is the ignorance of us in our community sometimes too, right? When we see things on social media, we're like, yeah, it's gotta be true. It's great. So we thought for sure there were top 10 couples of all time. And we thought for sure Pap was husband of the year. 6 years in a row, right? We just knew that he was that nigga, right? And then you get to this point where it's all being exposed like this, and it makes you think, oh, this is real rap. And she cheat on Pap. What is it for the rest of us, though? Because he's done the most spectacular version of a husband. I don't know what it is.
Publicly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, I mean it's yeah. So there was rumors of her with Easy. And so when Geechee did that freestyle, it was like, oh man. And then you looking at Remy's face and she just kind of looking down, and it's like, damn, like that's tough. Right. So fast forward, this was like before Christmas, days before maybe. All of a sudden the internet starts going crazy with screenshots, messages, and this, that, and the third, and stories and posts. And so I guess Pap fell asleep talking to Clarissa, and Remy came home and seen it. And so so this was a video that was done a while ago. I don't know when this was done, right?
Before you play this video,
yeah.
Didn't that strike you as odd? There's two things here that are really confusing. One, they still live together after this? Because how did she come home and see his? That's strange. I'm confused. Right? Two, why did she get his phone? What happened there? How was she seeing these messages? How did that? I'm confused. I'm confused on the state of their relationship at that moment.
Well, but I mean, you know, there are plenty of couples who are together and just living with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
I don't understand that.
But you don't know any couples that like live with each other and just are for economic reasons.
You want to play that Geechee verse again? Maybe I missed something. Did I miss something? That's my mistake. I missed part of the conversation.
Well, let's be clear. Well, let's be clear, because we don't know if there's an arrangement, which is very common, right? And you spoke about it when you did Conversations with Coach Lott. It was an amazing interview, right? There can be an arrangement. It could very well have been, hey, this isn't working out publicly. This is what we are, you know, hold it down. Don't be messy. And so then you mess with a bozo who then, you know, it's a pin on his hat to be like, oh yeah, I'm with her. Right. Publicly, none of us have seen anything with Papoose messing with anybody. Doesn't mean that he wasn't doing it.
That's true.
It doesn't mean he wasn't allowed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the part about her coming home and seeing him on the phone, like that didn't strike me as like odd, because maybe they are going through marriage counseling. Maybe who knows? I just feel it was a myriad of emotions for that night, for all of those things to go. And then, you know, Clarissa got a movie coming out on Christmas about her life, and she's plugging along. And all of a sudden, yeah. So yeah. So anyway, all right. So let me see. So here's, actually, you know, I played this so much I kind of know the words.
Oh man, here we go.
Okay. What's up?
Some people say I'm a killer. Jab to the mouth, then the shot to the liver.
Ooh.
Her man wanna take me to dinner. I call him what's her name? I don't even remember.
Who?
I know you nervous, baby, but now you with a boss bitch. She's the worker, baby.
Brokey.
And I deserve it, baby, because ain't nobody give me shit. I had to earn it, baby.
Yeah.
If it's one thing I always respect, it's authenticity in rap, right? I always respect it, right? And here's another thing about rap. I was from a time where if you don't like what I said in my bars, come fight me. One thing I know. Remy ain't fight. You don't want that fight, right?
No.
So versa wins. What we talking about? What we talking about? You don't gotta be Nas. Come fight me.
Yeah, in a real way.
Yeah.
And she said, I guess Remy leaked her phone number online.
Really?
So yeah, and so she said, supposedly, she said she'll fight her for $1 at this point.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Ain't that where we from?
Yeah. I mean,
come see me.
And I just want to give a shout out and kudos to whoever was filming who had the amazing ad libs.
Brokey.
I mean, yes.
And don't get it twisted. Clarissa got paper too, right? So,
yeah.
You know, and Remy's still living off of lean back verses. Listen, I'm not mad at this. Like, I'm not. Listen,
it's sad, and before Christmas, nonetheless.
Why is it sad? Why is it sad?
I want. Look, man. If you tell me you're a filmmaker, I don't want to find out that you're using, Chat GPT and you're taking kids from Emerson and stealing their ideas and putting them out.
Okay.
I want to take you at your word that you are coming up with ideas, you are writing. If you're not writing, you're getting the best writers, you're finding talent. I want to believe what you're saying. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. And so with Black Love, I never posted anything online ever saying couples goals. However, what I told someone is that I don't, I think the person, let me see, you know what? Because I think this is I actually love what I said. So I just want to find out. Hold on.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Well, I think it dives into a deeper thing too. Like should there ever be, especially in today's world, is there such a concept as couples goals? Right? Is that a false narrative?
I mean, it's turning out to be. So my friend she texted me, she said about the idolization, quote unquote, of these couples. I'd never idolized these folks, even the quote unquote normal couples. Right. So what I said was, I think it's admiration and aspiration. Just like people posting money and things is aspirational to some, not to me. It's hard out here. So to see someone make it and whatever that means is aspirational.
Yeah.
To me, I just hate when it ends messy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do without the fodder. It would be enough of like, Remy and Papoose filed for divorce. Like, damn, that sucks. Not them. I listen to Joe Budden a lot. He always plays Another One Bites the Dust. Right. But to have it be messy of like, because at the end of the day, this is someone who you did love at one point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I also get the emotions of being consumed at that moment of like, damn, anything I can do to just get a little jab, make you feel any sort of pain that I feel, I get that. But it's like, damn, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about the Ray J and Suki thing that's happening now. I can really care less. But with Remy and Pap, it's like, damn, guys. But I do appreciate they took it off their socials. But it still lives in perpetuity because,
I respect, I love examples of Black love. We talked earlier about my love of Cosby, the Huxtables, right?
Yeah.
I love, because here's what it does. When I'm 12 years old at home, watching the Cosby Show, I get an example of what my marriage should look like. That's important, dog. Like, we grew up listening to our music in the 90s. Nobody outside of LL was talking about love.
No.
Right? So when you get, and again, now not that Remy and Pap were either, right? But we get this glimpse now of, because of the way the world is, we pull the curtain back.
Yeah.
On the individual. And when we pulled the curtain back, we saw, oh shit, that's another example of Black love, and I'm here for it. Yeah. Right? So I'm here for the whole journey. And it's why I personally am overly expression about my love. Talk about it all the fucking time. Anybody who ever asked me, right? Hey, Charles, it's fine today, my wife. I could have just made some shit up. My wife. Charles, that shirt is dope, my wife. I'm happy. And I want us to have more examples of Black love. Pat and Remy, we're that. And I think, because the truth of the matter is, I'm going back to our community and a very serious part about it. Our community didn't have a lot of examples of Black love. We didn't have a lot, right? And so now that we're trying to make the turn to really showing and really appreciating Black love, I don't want it to get muddy. I don't want it to get messy. I don't want it to be that, right? Like you said, the messy, you can leave that shit to the side. But it is so important. I know they both may now regret being so public with their stuff, with their relationship, and Pap, and I'm going to the jails to visit. I know they regret it now.
You can't have it both ways.
At the time, it was legendary.
Yeah.
At the time, us as Black men were like, yo, Pap's on his marriage shit.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
That was important.
And, you know, at the end of the day, it's all examples, man. And maybe it inspired somebody to, you know, take that relationship more serious. And, you know, so it is what it is. Right. So as we're coming, so there's all right, so we're gonna do I mean, this is played out already, so we don't have to spend so much time on it, but Kendrick, Drake, Cole. So I just want to give a timeline. First Person Shooter comes out October 31st, 2023, right? Ton of little references. Because of what? Because of who? Who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? All these things, right? And all the simmerings happening. And people will say, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. So then Like That is released on March 26, 2024. The bomb that is.
Yeah.
Right? All hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Then 7 Minute Drill's released April 5th by J. Cole. And I just want to play this video that came, I feel like days or minutes after the J. Cole release.
Even answer my shit. Nigga, it's wartime. Boom, boom, right? Niggas want to see blood. And I was conflicted because, one, I know my heart, you know what I mean? And like, I know how I feel about my peers, these two niggas that I just been blessed to even stand beside in this game, let alone chase their greatness, right? So I felt conflicted because I'm like, bro, I know I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood. I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world want to see blood. So I say all of that to say, in my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my nigga back and I try to keep it friendly, but at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my fucking peace. So what I want to say right here tonight is, in the midst of me doing that and in that shit, trying to find a little angle and downplay this nigga's fucking catalog and his greatness, I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest motherfuckers to ever touch a fucking microphone?
I wasn't mad at that. I know everyone was like, that's weak, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, yo, that's adult. We've never seen that in hip hop before, right? So do you have a take before I go through the chronological order?
Yeah, you know, it's strange because
you were let down.
No. I guess for me, this is more about being a historian of hip hop than about this specific situation. I'm from a time where you battled. Like, I'm from a time where you traded. That's what hip hop was, right? And it was always, you know, Kumo D and LL. This is what I know. We're going back and forth until there's a winner, right? Until a clear-cut winner. That's hip hop, right? But the thing I value more than the culture of hip hop is authenticity. Be yourself. Do what makes you feel right. So, strange dichotomy, right? Because I want him to be authentic. I want him to feel comfortable with the product that he's releasing. I also want him to be hip hop, and they conflict.
Yeah,
you dig? You dig? So how do you judge that? How do you even look at that? He arguably, what is he, top 5 today? 6, depending on your point of view.
Yeah.
I got him behind a couple of guys from Griselda, but that's neither here nor there. Like, you want these guys to be authentic in what they give out. And so salute the level of maturity that he has to do that in the face of the hip hop community. And say, the hip hop community, you're wrong. That's crazy. And that's
salute. Yeah. So he did that. He pulled it from the his thing. Drake released Push Ups April 19th. Then the Taylor Made freestyle released on the same day. And it was with Pac and Snoop AI. Immediately when I heard it, I didn't like it. Pac meant too much to me to do that. Right? Immediately. And people was like, nah, it's dope. And it sounds like it's a Dre beat. And he's rapping like he's too. I was like, yeah, it's just whack. I hated it. Right? So then, all right, so we're April 19th. Euphoria comes out April 30th. Yikes.
Yeah.
So then 616 in LA comes out May 3rd. Family Matters by Drake is released May 3rd.
Now stop here at Family Matters.
Uh-huh.
When you're in the midst of this, are you feeling, yo, hip hop's back? Where are you as an artist?
I'll give a super high level answer. One, I know people always say like, I love it. It's competitive. So hip hop is founded on. I believe that we need some different foundational principles. I think that as people, we tear each other apart so much. I can do without the tearing each other apart on records. I feel like you can have rivalry and that can show. And there's great records from that. Welcome to New York City. I don't think Jay was ever so warm and fuzzy with Cam. And you heard that on that record. I think there's records with Jay and Beans where they're going back and forth on the state properties. I can't think of the song. One of my favorite. It's on. Once again, it's on. Sequel hard like corn liquor. Right? Like you hear that going back and forth. I'm perfect with that. I don't need the constant fighting. I don't necessarily need everyone like holding hands and kissing each other on the cheek. But it's so as an artist, it's always and for Boston, I feel like Boston certainly can't deal with beef because we're just too close in proximity.
Yeah. I'm
going to see you at I was gonna say Slades, but just with so never mind. Too soon. We'll do that next year, right? So but I just so as an artist, I feel a way about that. But then in real time as an adult with like real life adult responsibilities, it was a lot to keep up with. I'm like, God damn, this just came. Okay, another one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I'm not used to that because I'm used to, and I was gonna get into this in a minute, but like, Takeover came out September 11th, Ether came out December 4th.
Yeah.
Right? Brooklyn's Hit 'Em Up came out June 4th, 96. Brooklyn's Finest came out June 25th. And that wasn't really like a rebuttal to Pac, but it was definitely some jabs.
Yo, we ain't doing this. We ain't doing this, dog. So first off, you got to know how big of a Pac fan I am. And I'm so bored with the narrative that you do keep saying, oh, they was never really going at Pac. It was just some
No. Let's be clear. If they had twins, you'd probably have no, for sure. Okay. But I don't take Brooklyn's Finest as a rebuttal to Hit 'Em Up by any means. In the grand scheme of Big's catalog, he never responded to Pac in a way, at least that made me feel like, you know what I mean? Like if they had twins, you'd probably have two Pacs is not first off, fuck your bitch. Like that's not We can't. That's not the same conversation. We can't even do that. So, and I like Pac was everything to me. So, I think we're on the same. I'm not even on that thing. But anyway. So,
okay, let's keep going with our timeline. So,
yeah,
but I wanted to ask you that in the midst of the journey, right? Because records kept coming out.
Yeah.
I know, but not at the end when the smoke settles, but in the midst of it, it was bubbling. It was like, yo, what's happening tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it was excitement. And I felt good because this isn't 50 in Game.
Yeah.
This isn't John 50. This isn't Fat Joe. And like, it was like, I don't really see Drake punching Kendrick in the face.
Right.
Now his dudes might, right? But it was like, oh, well, this is a real rap beat. let's have it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't Benny and Freddie Gibbs. So Family Matters came out, and this is, I feel like, when it all changed, because he accused Kendrick of being an abuser and that his child wasn't his. And if we remember from Euphoria, don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell truths about you. Dun, 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 dun. Woo! So Family Matters comes out. Less than an hour later, Kendrick releases Meet the Grams.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one right there. And dudes, you got to be careful. Again, this is hip hop rules, right? Yeah. Now they might be wanting to change the rules. You bring up somebody's family, man.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we're going in a different direction now. It's gonna be something else.
That song is what it is. Not Like Us was released on May 4th. And, I think it's pretty much Drake released Heart Part 6 on May 5th, but like no one.
Yeah, it was over.
Yeah. And then November 2024, he filed a petition against UMG for defamation, inflating streams.
So our community skipped over this real fast, right? It was talked about for a week and we left it alone. I don't know. So, okay, let's start here. Which one stands out to you more? The apology or the lawsuit?
Who? Drake's apology?
Cole's apology.
Oh, the lawsuit. Because the apology for me as an adult and having gone through therapy, that is accountability. His heart wasn't in it. And, it ended up coming out later on that J. Cole was told, I think by Absol, somebody told J. Cole, like, stay out of this show. Like, this is a serious thing. And I think that was the best advice he could have taken. Talk about hitting a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Because Kendrick is a menace. He's an absolute menace. So the apology didn't bother me as much. It wasn't the hip hop that I grew up on with Jay and Nas, left condoms on your baby seat.
Right.
You know what I mean? However, it didn't make me be like, but the lawsuit, I just feel, Drake has absolutely benefited from the premium package of all the things.
Yeah.
And so now those pretty things have been used against you. And at the end of the day, like the NFL, who was, giving money to this side and this side, UMG is funding both artists.
Yeah.
It's a business. They can care less if Drake is a pedophile and Kendrick is a woman beater. They literally can care less.
Yeah.
So, hey, he beat you at your game. He did to you what you did to Meek. You don't like how that feels, huh? You don't like that back-to-back feeling. Whenever Meek goes into a club and people are playing, is this a girls' tour? Is this a world tour? Your girls' tour? Oh, that's not. Oh, you don't like that feeling, Aubrey, huh?
And here's what else they say. You don't like that? Go make another album. Get our streams up, sir.
Yeah, and that's it. So and I just because there's something that we're gonna end on because we just have to, but I just wanted to play because this is just masterful, and he is an absolute menace. So here we go.
I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they're in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from them. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-down. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a real taste, why is he around? Certified never boy, certified better style. God, fuck him up. I'ma do my sub. Why you pulling like a bitch, ain't you? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably...
Yeah.
Can you think of the last disc record that did something like this? I can't.
No.
It wasn't this.
No, he's never gonna get over OV Ho. It's just like, I don't know.
That A minor, it's you know what it's become? That's why I fucked your bitch.
Yeah.
It's in that pantheon of one-liners hip hop will never forget.
But kids can say it, even though the dichotomy is actually it's not nice or appropriate for kids to say.
Mm-hmm.
But kids can't say the first thing you said.
Yeah,
they can say that.
God,
wah. So anyway, all right. So yeah, take it or leave it.
Yep.
All right. So we're definitely over, man. But I think that this was needed, and I didn't want to rush because the conversation was going the way it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
And it was all important and necessary. So so one of the biggest things, it was a campaign, Trump versus Harris. Trump won. There is a very brief video that I wanted to show.
Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again.
So, 3 candidates, in my opinion: Trump, Harris, and the couch. The couch won.
Don't do this. And we need to have another conversation about that.
Well, so because
Dr. West was on the card, as you know.
Yes, but then so later on, I don't think he was on in the final stages. I mean he ran, but so didn't Young Turks, what's his name? Something like, I forgot his name. But Dr. West was on.
Yeah, he was on the final card that we had.
Yeah. But then and also the Green Party, Jill Stein.
Yeah. I just
Um,
think there needs to be a discussion at some point down the line of what that rogue entity can look like. If you talk to 1 billion people, most of them will say, I don't care about Democrat or Republican. That's what most of them would say. Most people align somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
There needs someone to help define that. And just that's the glaring issue.
And absolutely that is the biggest thing. I think that for me and the start, when we started this before we actually started taping, I was saying how I feel just emotionally drained.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of things that have equated to that, which just as years has been, interesting. But I was hopeful in it going one way. And it went somewhere else. I think that, again, as the stuff we talked about with hip hop and just the different things and community and all these different things, as a father to 2 daughters and a son, there's certain things that I'm teaching them. There's certain things that I'm showing them every single day. And accountability and respect and kindness and doing for others and not being a piece of shit. All those things. And someone who is the highest of the land is the complete opposite of everything that I'm teaching them. And it's not even a matter of it being applicable to me because it's just not. And one would say, well, you know, she's no better, blah, 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 blah. I know there are people who I respect and trust and support who was being supported in their efforts by her. I know that there's certain things that I'm a part of now in my current work that will absolutely be impacted after the swearing in. I know for the first time ever, there was an economic plan for Black men. Whether, and back to the monolithic thing that I said earlier, right? Not every Black man cares about, you know, those things. I think it was stuff on it. Was stock? I don't know if it's like stock or Bitcoin, things like. Not all Black men care about those things, but in history, there's never been a policy specifically speaking to Black men. And whatever a person thinks about that, that's a fact. Having $20,000 of forgivable loans for Black businesses. You, as a business owner, that's massive.
Yep, absolutely.
We know about redlining. We know about the lack of capital for Black women, which as Black men, we have our own challenges. They're like 0.02% or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, when I looked, 90 million people stayed home, 64% of the population voted.
Yeah.
So, you know, even but like misogyny and all those things was to me at the forefront this whole way around.
Yeah.
Even the mispronunciation of her name irked me. And when I would hear it, I would correct it in real time. It bothered me. People did that shit on purpose.
You know what it is, D? Here's the thing about it. And you started this out by saying that, you know, you live your life a certain way morally, right? Here's the truth of the matter. Trump is, whether we like it or not, an illustration of today's world.
Yeah.
Right? He is big rhetoric. He is insults. He is in your face with negativity and conjecture. But don't we see that every day when we log on? Right? We see it every day. Instagram, Facebook. Everybody is that.
Yeah.
He's just the poster boy for it, right? So, and the presidency since 1780 something has been a popularity contest. It has been which one of these candidates moves and acts like me. And if there's either one of those candidates who moved and act like an internet troll, Trump, right?
Yeah.
And so it's no surprise that he wins the presidency. And it's no surprise that he irks people who move with a certain morality. He's not sure. He's not there for that. He's not there for that.
Yeah.
It's funny. I always say this. I don't want to divert too much. I say Christians have to stop believing that the world is going to treat them a certain way. Because the world don't care about you. You care about you, right? And it's the same thing that's happening with Trump, is that his views are his, and he has 64% or whatever crazy number who support him. And that's how you become president in this country.
People got what they voted for.
Is this, and then see the narrative really is this. It's really twofold. Is this an indictment? This is what I heard all the day after. This is an indictment on the country's view of Black women. There's a couple things I do believe true about this. That might not be one.
No?
I don't think so.
Why?
I think the statement I just made is more true. The statement that he is a microcosm of what regular people are today, what voters are today. He's closer to that. That's a truer statement. then the country doesn't value Black women. I think that's a truer statement.
So I'll take your comment and raise you in the sense of there are people, and we won't even talk about different cultures, right? But there are absolute men who we both probably know and love that will have a problem with their woman being a breadwinner in a house, or would have a problem with working under a woman as a CEO. For me, literally, I actually want more of that. I think that's fly. I think it's powerful. I think it's sexy. I think it's all the things. For me, like, that is the furthest thing from my head. People feel like, yo, if a woman is blah, 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 what if she, it's happening with Mayor Wu being pregnant. When she delivers, who's going to be the mayor? How is she going to, people feel like women are just going to be irrational, and because they're on their period, they're going to, push nuclear codes and buttons. People believe that. Right. And I think that when it comes to women, I mean, we saw what happened with Hillary, which I guess should have just been a prerequisite of what was going to happen this time. The reality is this person has been campaigning for 10 years or more. Right. There's probably no one more popular than him. Black person, I probably could say Snoop. Right. Okay. Yeah, not even Kanye is to that level.
I agree with you.
So it's hard, and I just think that that she's not Black, and Math Hoffa was definitely, and that's what made me tune off from him. With having those again, back to what I said about cutting people off, right? Like, we're all mixed with something. I don't want to hear, I'm 100% sure you are. I don't have the time for it, but entertain me and show me your actual family tree, and I want to see the whole lineage. You got some Scottish in you. You got some, like, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I just saw, and with Lord Jamar in particular, right? Like, I watched the interview where he's like, yeah, I'm not voting for that bitch. Mm. It's like, wait a minute. Hold on, bro. Like, what are you talking? Yeah, man, I don't like when people disrespect me. And Mark Lamont Hill asked him, well, how are you disrespected? Oh, well, somebody asked her a question, and then she starts giving all this word salad. That's like, I don't equate that with disrespect, but I'll take your answer. But what do you mean by word salad? And people be like, oh, she never answered the question. Well, neither does he. Well, she's not clear on her policies. She is actually. He's not. And so I would respect people more if they said, I don't want to vote for her because she's a woman. I won't even put the Black in front of it. I won't vote for her because she's a woman. And there's nothing for me to argue. But don't tell me, she's not, she's not Black. Well, neither is he.
Yeah.
What are we doing, guys?
Well, yeah. Listen, I mean, we talk about the Trump stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that it was always going to be what it was going to be, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with people who do not recognize the obvious. She got a raw deal, bro. Biden dropped out of this thing. She should have already been out on campaign. She should have already been out on tour. But that wasn't the original plan. Yeah. So she came into this thing campaigning at a disadvantage from the gate.
Yeah.
So, but we overlooked that because, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. The more important part of this political landscape and why Trump becoming president matters, they also got the Senate.
Yeah.
So just so you guys may or may not know, I'm sure you know more than me. Senate is big brother, right? In terms of Congress. Senate than the House, right? And the Senate has override ability of the House, right? So in terms of federal legalese and things that may come across, right? So the fact that the Republicans have Trump and the Senate is a powerful dynamic, right? And I've seen people on social media, oh my God, I don't vote for president because he, you should vote for the Senate. That's in your state, right?
Yeah.
you know, you have no, even if you goofily, just made that word up, but that's cool. Even if goofily,
I'm here for it.
You just said, well, the president doesn't make it. The Senate is in your state, bro. And the Senate got everything to do with every state law that you have to come about, right? So it just made sense for you to get out and be involved in the Senate. So what it is.
God bless, man. That's it. God bless.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just think one last thing that I'll say is that you know, and I just want, I'm not the only one to say it, and I didn't make it up. But when I hear people saying, you know, I don't deal with all that political shit, man. And, you know, what I say to people is this: there are policies being made every single day that's impacting your life, your lives, your children, babies, mothers, wives, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Every single day, policies are being made. And you're either going to be a part of it or you're just going to go, unless you want to be sovereign and you want to take the steps to do that, which most people won't do. If you're in the same space as me and you have to click it or ticket, the big campaign, click it or ticket, right? We have to abide by the same laws. Massachusetts, you can't walk around with AR-15 on your shoulder. There are policies being made. So I just don't understand the opting out.
Not just policies being made, but policies being made that you have an opinion on. That shit matters to you, right? So don't sit and talk me to death with a 2-paragraph post about this and this and this when you could have already made your opinions matter in a different way. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't talk me to death about it. Shout to having a president who can heal like Wolverine. That's dope, right? I've never seen somebody who can get shot and then the next day be perfectly healthy. That's incredible to me, by the way.
Wait, are you talking about this?
Yeah, oh my God. That's wild. Right? So
yeah,
I guess there's something in.
By
the way,
God
he's also a felon, but who cares about
Wait, so one piece before we start closing. I think that as far as strategy, so two things. One, I think celebrity endorsement is dead. No one cares.
Agreed.
I think we're like Jordan Peele's movie Us, right? With everyone at the end revolting, and I think it's a matter of like Hunger Games. So people are waiting to pull down celebrities. All that lifestyle and the rich and famous shit and cribs, those days are over.
I agree wholeheartedly.
So having all the celebrities and having all the big wigs campaign for you, not a good idea, and it actually backfired.
Yeah.
Right? I would much rather Eminem than Kid Rock. However, hey, I would much rather D.L. Hughley than Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey. But so that's one thing. The second thing is, I think the constant calling him a felon wasn't the flex they thought it was. And what I mean by that, and when you just mentioned it, there are a lot of people that have, you know, felons in their family or them themselves. Mm-hmm. And so they know what it feels like when they're called that and people look down on them and say, you know, blah, blah, blah. I think what the Democrats were trying to do, obviously, I got it, but it's basically saying, hey, Chuck, you're a felon. You can't go to Charles Schwab and get a job.
Correct.
You know what that feels like. So how can this man be elected and be? That's not fair. But what it didn't translate that way, and it translated as, you gonna let a felon be president?
Yeah. Right.
And you might be an entrepreneur and you're starting your own business. So you're talking about me being a felon and I'm not capable? Fuck you. I'm gonna. So
it's so much about narrative, right? It's all of this stuff is always about how you're painting that picture. And you know, one misplaced sentence changes the entire context of the story, and we see that there.
All of it. Yeah. So in closing, you know, we wanted to do rest in peace. And I feel like there's just so many to name. First and foremost, to those who we know and love that may have passed over this year. And, you know, we wanted to just highlight two names in particular. and we'll do it in chronological order. Sonia Massey, which was, young woman in the kitchen, the video circulating around. I implore people to stop sharing death porn. I call it black death porn. People just haphazardly sharing it, right? There's a difference of informing people and just sharing it, right? People are sharing the death porn like they shared the Slades video.
Here's where I struggle with, dude. I struggle with this because in the 90s, right, showing that led to action. It led to, oh my God, it led to outrage. It led to something, right? Rodney King. Now it's entertainment.
It's entertainment.
No, let's be 100% clear. No one is ignorant anymore.
Yeah.
That ship is sailed.
Yeah.
Now, you're just watching these videos to be entertained. You know what the fuck is happening. We talk about it every year, 2, 3, 4 times a year.
More than that.
You know what the fuck it is.
So Sonia Massey, rest in peace. And then the most recent, I feel like, well, actually, so Sonia Massey, I don't have her name, and you don't have her name. The young woman in the train in New York.
So they don't know her name.
Yikes! Still,
they still don't know her name. That was as of yesterday morning. They still don't
even with dental. Jesus.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, yeah, and like the lack of humanity of, and it's interesting because people are like, oh, she's on fire. What are you supposed to do? Well, what you're not supposed to do is pull out a phone and just stand and film it.
It's fucking outrageous. I can't believe you use the word lack of humanity. Someone is literally burning in front of you.
Yeah.
I first saw the video. I was like, oh, they're shooting a movie. I swear to God. I said, oh, they're shooting a movie, whatever. No harm, no foul. The next thing I'll see is coming soon.
Yeah.
Then I realized it was real, and I said, who the fuck's taking the video? There's people walking by.
Yeah.
Take off your jacket, throw it around her, find the motherfucker who did this. There's a billion things you could be doing.
Yeah.
Outside of holding your phone. I cannot believe it.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at. And that makes me scared. And having, like it's your daughter, that's your aunt. Like I don't understand. And so definitely,
oh my God, D. We might have to do a separate piece on this.
Yeah.
Because this also highlights targeted attack on homeless people. People who are already down on their luck. They're already fucked up.
Wait, was she homeless?
She was a homeless woman sleeping on the train. She's already fucked up.
So what I got that he was trying to rob her.
No.
Oh.
No, she was a homeless woman sleeping on the train. And already in the fucked up space. And this guy. Oh, by the way, he's an illegal immigrant.
Yeah. This is a beautiful, because
Trump loves it. He loves it.
I mean,
he's the poster child now for the next 4 years.
Make him, yeah. So, and so lastly, we wanted to say rest in peace to Robert Brooks. Again, video floating around. I just would implore people to, I think you can read a story without seeing the video, because at the end of the day, this is stuff that you're putting into your psyche. These are things that these are images that you're putting into your brain that you can't erase. There's no Men in Black, whatever that thing was. But there's a video. He was beaten by the police, I think in a Brooklyn correctional facility.
Yeah.
And they turned their cameras off. But what I read, shout out to Tamika Mallory, the people who are advocating for the cameras, it's I forgot the name, but it's a thing where basically, even though you turned it off, it's a thing that will still record up to X amount of time as almost like a transparency.
Fail safe.
Yeah, and so that's why that video exists.
There was no audio on the video.
But for you to see people being, and it reminds me of George Floyd. Like someone is restrained. We're not talking about get off me, get off me. We're talking about someone who's restrained, and you are taking it upon yourself to wail on them. And so, but also the person that was just voted in has said very plainly he wants, blanket immunity. So again, I say, God bless. And that's what I say on that. So anyway, do you have any kind of closing? I definitely want to make sure, and I don't know if you're gonna say it, so I'm gonna say it for you because you shouted out mine. So All Love is out on Amazon Prime right now. It features a song by some like local yodel dude, you know what I mean? It's sprinkled in there somewhere. Yeah. It's a feature-length film. What is it, hour and 48 minutes?
Hour 58.
Oh, excuse me. Did a screening, super dope. I think to have character development, to have different locations and put all these different pieces together is not easy. Yeah. And what I left the premiere saying, and literally I said it, if I had your number, I was going to text it to you. I might have sent it in the chat. A lot of people talk about, oh man, I wrote the script, blah, 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 man, I'm gonna make this movie, it's just gonna be dope. Mm-hmm. And then 2 years later, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I still got to do that shit. That movie's gonna be crazy, yo. 3 years later, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I didn't forget, I still got it. And so I just want to salute to you and salute to all of the doers. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not easy, it's thankless, it's difficult. You pull your hair out if you have any left. You max out credit cards. You have fights with your spouse. It's all the things. Yep. But salute to the doers, because to be a dreamer is great, but to be a dreamer and a doer is super special. And it's just not a lot of especially us in this space. Right. It's the others that come in and say, you know what? Yeah, Chuck, that's a great idea. Mm-hmm. Let me get that. Yeah. Right. And then your name gets crossed out. So,
and that's, so like we're like, obviously salute to the doers, but it's also equally, if not more important, to shout out trailblazers. You dig? And that's why being able to shake your paw was so important, because before I even get into the lab, before I even get the opportunity to go to sleep and dream, there are people before me who have actually done some shit. You see what I'm saying? So for me to be able to go and reference that and be like, people who look like me can do this shit. It is possible. Then it makes you want to get up and go in the lab and really work hard. So salute to you. Salute to Two Whale and people like that who really have been outside and don't mind shaking your hand, and they're not going to slam the door in your face. You know what I mean? I think that's what our community needs more of. It's like, I got you. Let's do it together. So,
and and anything, I think when you reached out to me or whatever, it was like, I'm big on that. Now I'm super mindful of who I'm going to spend time or respond to now, right? Because I feel like, again, being change that I want to see, and just kind of being, and please pardon the pun, but I'm about to make a super pause, but busting it open for everybody, right? I gotta end up. But like it can't, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And so the worst thing is for me to give you a contact or give you an email or send a connecting text, and then you don't even say thank you, right? You don't have to publicly say anything, but not even to say thank you or good looking. Right. It makes me feel like, damn, like what was the point? Mm-hmm. Because I also know what it feels like when the person didn't do it for me. So, you definitely took, because I made a short that was 20 minutes. So you took whatever inspiration you found and fucking, put some fentanyl. I can't use that. Jesus Christ.
All
right. Yeah. Let's wrap up because it's good. Jeez Louise. All right. So this is going somewhere else. So anyway, thank you guys for locking in with us. Make sure you check out Sparring Minds. Are you a part of the other thing too, or no?
No, it's under the Sparring Minds network. So we have a network now that we've created that's launching 8 different podcasts under that brand. Again, it's about community, right? Like I'm not talking, you know what this is. So we're trying to make sure everybody get a voice, man. If you got a message, we're gonna make sure you get a platform. So Heart Boxing, Grove Hall, a lot of great products coming out. Just giving people an opportunity to speak their story, man.
The Roxbury podcast is gonna be coming soon, so definitely make sure y'all look out for that. And Chuck's gonna be hosting it. You know what I'm saying? So thank y'all, man. Please have a safe New Year's, and however you choose to celebrate, health and wealth to you. Please, if you're going to make any resolutions, just try to make something that's feasible so you don't get discouraged by it. And love and light. So what I've been saying is love and light, and God bless, because it's gonna be a ride in 2025. So we'll see y'all, man. Same bat time, same bat channel. You know what it is.